Are you guys ready for the scans? All right, this is going to be the look at the market leading stocks with the scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Friday, April 11th, 2014. What we're seeing today is obviously a lot of downside action, but what we're not really seeing are going to be a lot of signals. Just got a couple signals here on the current watch list. Got one in SanDisk. We've also got one in Entertainment Arts. Those are both downside CPS signals, which are pretty powerful. The one thing we're going to see a lot of is we're going to see some volume expansion, volume bumps in eBay, and also Google. But I think the real thing here, the open-close deviations, we're starting to see a widening out here. A lot of weakness in these names. I'm going to look at Sinus. Sinus 8% below the day's open, and the list goes on and on. So a lot of weakness here. One thing you want to look at also are the DWAP deviations, because these are the ones that are being sold late in the day and haven't been able to sustain levels. So these things are really getting hit hard. Sinus, Netflix, BlackBerry, Wind Resort, which is really a high beta name, and First Solar is getting weak. Baidu and Amgen all closing really, really poorly today. Let's move on to other sectors. Here's a look at the financials. Again, not a lot of signals, but a lot of destruction here from the deviations. We've got a volume bump here in Huntington Bancorp. That one is one of the weakest ones of the group here. That one does have a downside CPS, so we could see some follow through on that tomorrow. The rest of these really look like they run a lot out of them today. And the funny thing is, a couple of these things are actually trading fairly light volume. Take a look at the energy names. A little bit more as far as the signals go here, but we're kind of paired off here. You have downside CPSs in a number of these, but this really isn't where the action is. Look at the volume. The volume's just not there. They're really just dropping bids. ACI is really weak. BTU is really weak. That's 2% below the day's open, and that one does have a downside CPS. ExxonMobil, historically more of a lower beta name than a dividend play. Actually, probably seeing a little bit of flow of funds here, and is trading above the day's open. Moving on to general, starting to see a little more universal weakness here. Downside CPSs in Best Buy. That one was weak out of the gate today and is staying pretty weak. Disney's really weak today, even though it's kind of a low beta name. They're not finding safety in there, but there's no signal with that one. VMware is really weak. That's a high beta name, 4% below the day's open with a downside CPS. Verizon and Walmart both have downside CPSs. Walmart's actually kind of interesting because sometimes that's a place where the portfolio managers will try and stuff some money when they're rotating out of the high beta stuff, but I'm not getting an indication of that today. Housing names not doing too much, and the transports are weak, but not really much weaker than the overall market. And moving on to the commodity names, funny thing is there's no flex quality here. A lot of these names are trading pretty poorly today. So today is really just kind of a bid backing across the board. Seeing some pretty good weakness in U.S. Steel. That one's about 3.5% below the day's open. Got a volume bump in Double G. That's 3% below the day's open, and a ton of volume in Archcoal ACH. That one is trading fairly firmly, but it's putting up an RPS signal to the downside. So definitely be aware of that. So I think the interesting thing today is that we don't have a lot of downside indications, which could mean tomorrow's going to be a little bit tricky, maybe more of a measuring day, or perhaps a little bit of a bounce. But definitely keep an eye on the intraday trend today. If it closes, above 2.5, or better yet, above 3, above below 5, we could get that relief gap to the upside. Right now, we're playing up below that level. All right, folks, that's going to be it for today. If you have any questions, let me know.